Hey, what's going on, Raiders? This is the OneTrueSpry here. Today I want to go over my super slow budget unkillable comp with you guys. So for my team, I use Sir Nick. You guys can still use Roshcard or warcarster. Anyone who has an unkillable buff or block damage buff on a 4-turn cooldown. And then I also use an ally attack, so I have the Fat Man. But you guys can still use Kreela or Longbeard. Now, for those of you guys who don't have any ally attack, I actually have done the work for you on Deadwood Jedi's clan boss calculator. So I'm going to go ahead and flip over to that real quick so you guys can get those speeds. That way you're not thrown off by the video. Alright, so now we're here with the infamous Deadwood Jedi clan boss calculator. If you guys haven't seen this before, I highly advise you just go to his website and take a look at it. It's very unique, extremely useful. So now I've plugged in the champions that you guys are going to be using if you don't have an ally attack. So nothing really changes with Sir Nick. He's still going to be the exact same way, but you're going to have to change your Painkeeper. That's the only catch. Now that you're taking out your ally attack, you have to change the way you treat Painkeeper. So with her speed, we dropped her down from a 241 to a 217. And then changing her turn order, she's going to go A1, A3, A1, A2. And when you guys actually have your team like this, you're going to be able to maintain that never-ending unkillable buff. However, one slight issue I see, you're going to have Painkeeper using her heal at not the best time. So you see, typically you want Painkeeper to do her heal after the AoE too. That way your stun target is over the minimum health percentage that the clan boss wants to attack. Okay guys, so let's go over my champions real quick. So for my team, it's going to be Sir Nicholas as the Unkillable. So for him, he's going to have a speed of about 175. You can go up or down a few. That's going to depend on your slow champion. So he cannot go before Yaga after the stun. Otherwise, it'll mean that Yaga does not have the unkillable buff when it comes down to the stun turn again. Now, for skills, he's completely booked. That way, this is at a 4-turn cooldown. Same thing with his shield at a 3-turn cooldown. Mastery-wise, I have him going with counterattack masteries, just because I want the extra bit of damage he's going to apply. Alright, so next we're going to be going over Painkeeper. So Painkeeper, she is the only champion you're going to actually have a little bit of speed on. Now, Painkeeper, she's currently sitting at 241. You can actually go, I believe it's up to 244, but you cannot go below 240. This is just because in order for her to get enough turns in with the ally attack, because it's going to proc her A1, which increases her turn meter by 10%. Now, the gear I have on her is not very endgame. She doesn't have a whole lot of crit damage, doesn't have a whole lot of health. It's fine. It works. Next, we're going to go over my ally attack champion. So for my ally attack, I have the Fat Man. Billy. Alright, so stats-wise, his speed is going to be 188. He just needs to go after the clan boss. You can have him at 185, 189, doesn't really matter. He just needs to go before Sir Nicholas and after the clan boss. His skills, I already have him maxed out, so he's at 4 turns on his A3. That's the only thing we really care about. And then his masteries wise, again, counterattack masteries. I want as much damage as possible. Next, DPS slot. So this is where you could throw in Rosin Banshee. You could throw in a Cult Brawler, any other good poisoners. Typically, that's what you're going to want for Clan Boss to get the most damage out of your team. So for Rhazin, again, speed, he just needs to go after Clan Boss. So for me, I have him at 177. You can have him up there at 185, or if you want to do Affinity friendly, you can take Rhazin out altogether, throw in Doom Priest at like a 189 speed, and then your team's going to be Affinity friendly. His skills, I actually don't have Rhazin maxed. I'm working on it slowly, but we all know the books are a huge issue right now. Masteries, again, counterattack masteries. I don't really care that he lands his defense down. I'm more focused on getting as many hits as possible. So the extra counterattacks. And then lastly, this is the slow champ. So you guys can use any other slow champion you want. But for me, I just use Yaga. One, he brings a little bit of poison into the fight. And then two, it's just a good affinity. If he goes down to the spirit and I have to take out Rosin, I can go ahead and throw in Doom Priest and Yaga is still my tank. All right, so that's wise. This has to be the slow boy. So I have mine currently sitting at 121. He just has to be at a 2-3 ratio to clan boss. So he only takes 2 turns for every 3 turns that the clan boss takes. Skills wise, doesn't really matter. You guys can throw anybody you want into this slot, but I have maxed masteries. So for his masteries, just because I want his poison to land longer because he doesn't have as many turns, I went ahead and went down the support tree, but you could also viably go down the counterattack tree. All right, so before I go ahead and take you guys into the clan boss, I actually want to show you my Great Hall, just so you can realize that this is not something that's unachievable. It's not super high stats, I'm not super in-game. Anybody with a decent account should be able to achieve these numbers. All right, so clan boss. So I have not ran yet today, but what you will see is I have enough to 3 key Ultra Nightmare. So stun priority. It's not necessary, but I always prefer to just throw stun priority as leader. So I'm going to throw my Yaga as the leader. It's going to help him get targeted. Of course, if you have enemy affinity, then you're going to have to change your stun tank, simply because it's really hard to get the clan boss to deal with the affinity if your stun tank is like the strong affinity towards him. Sir Nick, the Fat Man, Painkeeper, and then Rosin. Alright. So technically, after 3 turns, you should be able to auto it, but anybody who uses Painkeeper knows she doesn't always use her A2 on the right time. So I'm going to manual it till about turn 8, and then I'll just hit auto, and I'll let you guys watch from there. So starting off with Painkeeper, we're going to go ahead and use her A1. Next, we're going to Bakrin the Fat. We need his A3 to go on turn 2. That way he's always using it right before the clan boss uses stun. So we're going to go ahead and use his A2 first. Rosin doesn't matter. Sir Nick, we're going to start out with his A1 as well. All right, now we're on to Painkeeper again. So now we're going to use our A3 to lower the cooldowns. All right, Yaga doesn't matter. Cool. Batman, now we need to use his A3. It's critical to have it at this point due to the fact that Painkeeper's A1 fills her turn meter by 10%. So every time she does the Alia attack, it's going to affect her. So now turn 2, or this is going to be Painkeeper's third turn. We can go ahead and use her A2. Rosin doesn't matter. And then Sir Nick, we're going to go ahead and use his shield. Okay. So now, since we're at the reset of the clan boss's turn, we're going to go ahead and use the Unkillable. And then technically, from this point on, it should be auto. However, like I said, Painkeeper doesn't always use her A2. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward you guys through, but I'm going to have to manual for the next little bit. And then I'll bring it back at the end of the clan boss so you guys can go ahead and see the damage. I'm back. So, as this is starting to wrap up, I'm just going to talk over it a little bit. This comp right here currently is not affinity friendly, but like I said, you can change out Rhazin and Yaga to be any other champion you want. So, if you have a different slow champ for each affinity, that's fine. Whatever you need to do to get it to work. So, in my opinion, this is a great, easy, accomplishable setup. Like it really is. The gear requirements are not rough. 180 speed, most accounts can get that within the first like 2-3 months. Granted, yes, you do have to have luck. You have to pull either a Sir Nick or a Roshcard the Tower. That way you can have this setup with the cooldowns on the Unkillable or Unblockable. But other than that, it's a pretty easy team to throw together. All right, so this is ending. Got 30 million damage. Not bad. This barely puts us, or this puts us a good bit over 3-key territory. Not quite being able to 2-key it. That would be about 35, 36 million per key. But 30 million on the count, you've seen the stats, it's not bad. It's really good. So Rosin, you can change them out for any other DPS. If you had a Feign or if you had Frozen Banshee, you'd be able to 2-key, possibly 1-key. But like I said, my account did not get lucky with a poisoner. Alright guys, thank you so much for stopping by. If you guys found the content enjoyable, or if you guys actually were able to learn anything from it, please just drop a like. And then if you guys have any questions, just leave them in the comments. I'll try and get back to you guys. Other than that, this is the OneTrueSpry, and I'm out of here.